There we go. Now you can maybe hear my voice. That's why we have to check these things as we're starting up. Hello, everybody. So the topic of the live today is learning self-mastery. And this is not something that's specifically taught in this world. It's something that's kind of gained over time. And I really feel that that self-mastery is really our task of going through 3D, learning and kind of building a scenario for yourself before you come into this life with an outcome of awakening, ascension, full awareness, whatever you want to call it, and then going through a whole bunch of things that are maybe contrary to that, and using those roadblocks, hurdles, bumps, etc., to guide you to mastering your perspective, mastering trigger, mastering how you respond to stimulus. Maybe it's anger, frustration, sadness, breakup, jealousy. Oh, there's millions of different things that we can come here learning to self-master. And it's different for everyone. Sometimes they overlap, but there's huge amounts of difference out there in these things. So what is self-mastery? Well, self-mastery is being consciously aware of all facets of yourself, almost observing, and then how you respond. Do you respond from past trauma, trigger, anger, frustration, fear, doubt, etc., and then how the outcome shifts because you became integral in how you responded to the situation. So let's say your lover or spouse or whatever was in their trauma and they wanted to scare you away because what you're talking about is scaring them. Maybe they're talking about a past lover or a rape or something, and all of a sudden there's all this fear energy. And a lot of times our experience is to kind of lash out in fear or know the other person's wounds, so they'll just stop. So we'll just dice them in some way to get them to stop. And you're going to go through your life, and the first couple times this happens, you're going to get like really traumatized. You're going to be angry. You're going to be like, what the hell is this? And then when you're coming from unconsciousness, you're not aware, and it's like, oh, I'm a victim again, and oh, my people that love me hurt me, and you build all these stories up when they're not really true. Eventually, as you go through these things, you're going to find out that the universe is sending you people that are trying to guide you to your self-mastery. And we're taught that we're victims of these things. The world says, oh, okay, well, that's a bad person. They're not on their path or whatever. Well, no, we're getting like vibrational people drawn into our life. That's our attraction. That's a lot of times the root of our relationships, is to bring people into our lives that are going to help us build our self-mastery. Sometimes there's soul contracts. Sometimes there's other things going on that will put us in a situation where we want to test ourselves. And how do we respond? Do we respond from our old wounds and pain and suffering, or do we respond from this new awareness and say, okay, why does that hurt? Why is this conversation hurting? Why am I so angry when they're just saying some words? And then you're finding out that there's deeper stuff. There's a whole chain of events that have made us feel a victim or feel traumatized or triggered or small, and we're feeling crushed by these experiences. But how are you going to get out of that experience? How are you going to get out of that old belief? Maybe it's something that's programmed from your parents. Hello, Haiti. Hello, beautiful soul. Namaste as well. But we have all these past experiences that have kind of curled us up into a ball. And now we're subconsciously just like, oh, this is all I deserve and this is bad. When really this is a hammer coming to kind of stir up your world. And it's got all this intense energy in it. And it's asking you to look at it. Instead of running away and saying, oh, that's not good, or this is bad, I'm scared, look at it, sit with it, say, okay, what part of me is really scared? What part of me is this? is their conversation just poking me and I'm not even hearing their words now? So it's really not them, but we're getting an opportunity to sit with it and say, okay, be present, be the observer, step back for a second, don't feel your body and all that pain and suffering and struggle. All of a sudden be this a new awareness and say, okay, where's this coming from? Sit calm, sit in your kind of God self and say, okay, this has steered my life and it's destroyed my relationships and destroyed all this other kind of stuff. What am I being taught here? And then you're going to look at it and say, oh, geez, well, my dad said this, or my first lover said that, or my mom did that, or whatever. And you're going to look at it and say, okay, I learned that as a child, or I learned that when I was with my subconscious part, and I just took it as truth. Is it really true? And now you're like, oh, okay, this may not be true after all. What the heck? And then you go deeper and it's like, ooh, this hurts. Why does it hurt? And then you look into it and breathe and you sit with it and you hold it and realize it's a part of you and it's a little wounded child maybe, or it's a bunch of energy from somebody else. And we're like, oh, this doesn't belong to me anymore. This doesn't belong to me. And then you come free and you're like, oh, I'd never meant to respond like that in the first place. These things were layers that were put on me, and sometimes they're inserted before I could even consciously be aware or choose, or use things that were taught from my childhood to manipulate and control me. And that's the human experience in 3D right now. So self-mastery is like, what's going on in my body, taking responsibility for it instead of hacking and slashing everybody around and say stop, and then going in the corner and crying and pretending it didn't happen, or, oh, this is my victim. No, you're saying, what's in this for me to learn? What's gonna change me? What's this thing that's got control and it's subconsciously making a whole bunch of bad experiences happen to me? Is that really me? And then you're gonna find out, no, it was a whole bunch of stuff that was programmed in and it was inserted, but it was chosen by your higher self, your higher soul, by the God part of you to temper and refine and polish your perspective, to learn these massive lessons of unconditional love, self-love, of awareness, so that you can sit afterwards in integrity, pull your sovereign peace, take away all those things and shed them because they no longer believe, and not shed them as parts of you, but shed, oh, that belief doesn't align with me. So now I don't have to break off a part of me. I'm just saying, I don't believe that anymore. This isn't true. This is wrong. This is whatever. And it can be somebody else's truth, but I don't need that truth anymore because it made me roll over. In my past, and I've been doing a shit ton of work on it lately, is around my interactions with women and how safe I feel and all this stuff. And it comes from a long ways back. It goes back into my lineage as far as I'm concerned. But I've been doing this work. And it was so beautiful today. I went for lunch with a friend and two people I'd never met before. And they were big into politics and they started talking about politics. And something felt off in this interaction with this woman. She kept looking over and it was like she was wanting me to agree with her and all this stuff. And I didn't know who she was. So I kind of said, what's your intention? Like, it was just energetic. And I said it in the background. And what happened at the time, the sun was shining on the side of their head. So they're a little bit blinded. So they got the lady at the restaurant to bring the blinds down. And the woman said straight out loud, and it was a joke. She says, I'm a vampire and the light burns me. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? That was her true intention. As I saw it, immediately I put the shield up and I said, okay, I don't need that energy in my life. You've been true. And she thought it was a joke, but it's their subconscious mind responding to my question. And I put up a little barrier and I said, I don't need to have that energy and it's not acceptable in my world. And throughout the conversation, she was trying to ask me to come and go to her event and talk more and join in with her on what she was doing. And I didn't agree with it. And the old me would have just like tried to be part of the crowd and, oh, we were trying to make a group and a community. The community was built on foundations of broken politics that I see is going on now. And I said, no. And she says, oh, you're one of those hiding people and all this kind of stuff. And I said, no, you're not going to say that to my face because I'm not a hiding person. I am changing that inside of me and how I interact with you and everyone else. I'm not a hiding person. I'm standing out. And the other guy, he got all mad at me and he says, lower your voice. I said, no, I'm passionate. I'm not yelling and shouting. Well, what if people hear us and then they call us out or whatever? Because we were talking about stuff that is questionable in this world. And I'm like, I can't. I wouldn't shut down for that. So I saw this self-mastery starting to show up before I'd like want to please people and keep them comfortable. And all work that I've been going through, all the conflict that's been going on showed me that I can't stand with that energy anymore. I need to stand and rise higher in my self-awareness, in my honoring what feels good in me. And that's really a leader. And I could see it by the end of the conversation. They kept asking me questions and wondering why I was in this different position, and it felt good to them, but they didn't understand it. Not that I need people to stand under me. It was just like, I'm okay with exactly who I am, and I don't align with that stuff, but I respect you and love you and keep going on what you're doing. I'm waiting for my time to step forward. And it wasn't with them. It was, all I felt was fear and the vampire. And that was her wound, and that there's no judgment, but there's lots of people that will be vampires because that's the only way they feel safe. They don't have enough of their own energy, so they'll get groups together and they'll lead from behind and get people to promote their beliefs without stepping forward, so they don't take any risk. So it was so huge for me to be able to ask the intention at an energetic level, get a clear answer, and now know that there was a wound underneath, and it was not in alignment with what I wanted to do. And I just said, I choose not to be part of it. My friend that invited me, we sat down and had a beautiful discussion. I said, this is what I saw when I saw those people, and no judgment. It's just, this is why I won't continue. But in the old days, I would just like not show up again or not continue. But my self-mastery and my integrity made it really clear. I don't need to tell those people why I won't join with them. They already know I won't join with them, but to sit with the person that invited me. And I wasn't disrespectful to those people and say, hey, I won't gonna, but there came one point where I said, I can't quiet down. And if that's what you want, I'm more than happy to leave, but I'm passionate. And I'm not disrespecting other people. I'm not screaming and yelling and another thing. And I felt my self-mastery. It felt so pure. It felt so comfortable and confident. And I wasn't that for so long. I just wanted to make people happy and not rub or scrape against them. And self-mastery is that. It's like, why would you kind of like prostitute yourself by agreeing with someone you don't agree with, but you do it just so that they feel better about themselves? I think that's the biggest, what's the word, sin that you could do for another person. If I'm not feeling them and I'm leading them on to say that's acceptable from my perspective, I'm not helping that person. But I don't have to rub it in their face and just say, I don't agree with you. I want to do a different path, but don't judge me for that. And it was really cool because she knew I was taking my own path. She was actually called more to try and look in my eyes and get to see if I was aligning with her or stepping away. And that was uncomfortable for her. It's like, okay, this guy's not agreeing, and it's okay. It's okay. I don't have to agree. Her filter and his filter of these other guys were based on a whole bunch of past experiences that weren't the same as mine. They hadn't looked at that part of themselves to see, okay, is this important? I don't really think investing in politics right now is a good investment of my time or my transparency or whatever, because the world can't even see those things. But as the structure of the world starts to fall apart and the darkness falls away, there's going to be a void of people needing light people to help guide in some level of politics or leadership or whatever. I don't even think the word politics will apply anymore because it's all twisted. So what's your self-mastery? What if you look at all the bad things that have happened in your life and you can step back and kind of be the observer of what's been going on, there's a theme underneath the bad things. Like, are you choosing yourself? Are you just having relationships with people because it's too hard to choose yourself, or you're just trying to please them, or you want love, but you don't have enough love for yourself? You're going to see underneath all these really hard situations, these attacks, these bad people, these breakups, these businesses that fall apart. You can start to find out underneath that you really needed to love yourself first, and you really needed to not try and please people. You really needed to start to become aware of your whys. And once you know your whys, holy crap, that's huge, because now all of a sudden your choices become being made based on what pleases you, what fills you, what feels in integrity within you. And once you get this integrity, it was so simple. Before, I would have just like struggled, and it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt these people or whatever. But for me, it was like table stakes. It's like, hey, I fully respect you. That's what I said. This doesn't align with me. I've told my friend Dar, I don't want to get into politics right now because I don't feel there's any way to make a change. But doesn't change that I want the same things that they want and I want to make a change, but it starts in here. It's not taking political action, not going on marches and volunteering and knocking on doors and all this kind of stuff. It's right here. It's like, no more is this going to happen in my reality. Table stakes for my reality is freedom, truth, integrity, accountability. Once you have all these things, holy shit, the world is solid and you can explore, and life becomes something you want to create in, something you want to manifest in, something you want to dream in, because it won't be just stolen away because somebody sucks your energy dry because you opened your door to too many people. What comes after all of this is a new higher vibration, the 5D level of reality of an integrity. It's like, now I know who I am. Now I know what's important to me. Now I know what's in my energy. It's not being given away through this porous foundation that I built for myself. The self-mastery has purified the foundation, has crushed it right to the ground, maybe repoured it with concrete that's only your concrete, and it doesn't have stories and vibrations and beliefs from the past. And now it's like, okay, Paul is this. And I don't know if you can see it. Look at some of my older videos. You're going to see a difference in me. The difference in me is like choosing me. And that's not selfish. That's me first. Does this have some value to me? Is this pleasing another person? Does this help somebody without helping myself? Once I've self-mastered all those things, all of a sudden my choices become simple. My boundaries are immediate. My softness, my unconsciousness of how I act stops. And now it's like, okay, why am I saying these things? Why are they saying those things? What's the intention of this person? Why am I feeling this way? And it's going to show something beautiful inside. This clean, pristine space inside that says, I know why I'm doing things. And when I know why I'm doing things, and I can recognize when I'm doing things not for myself or to please or other things, a magic happens. A purity of intention starts. I'm here to listen. I'm here to hear what you have to say. I'm here to sit within the framework of what is me, this creator being. This creator being wants to hold people in integrity and play with people and interact with people in integrity. But if I let people in that aren't in integrity or are trying to take or feed off of or whatever, there's a whole bunch of reasons why you join with other people. It like just collapses my foundation. I'm like tilting over and I can't figure out why, because I didn't have integrity in what I wanted. I didn't follow my beliefs. I didn't stake my self-mastery and say, okay, this is gritty and this is painful, but I know I can trust myself and it feels really solid in my heart and in my bones and in my body that I'm doing this from a purity of intention, of integrity of who I am. And then like this magic happens, because that's like self-love. That's like my safety. That's my purity of intention. And if I follow that always, people can trust me. I can feel safe. I can trust them, etc. But I got to say the example first. I got to say and set the vulnerability, set the stage, set all this kind of stuff of what level you interact with me. But if you're just like, oh, I want to have love, I want to have sexuality, I want to have a relationship, I want to have all this kind of stuff, and you just let anybody in, do they want the same things? Do they just want the relationship part, but they didn't want the love and sexuality? Did they want to have their heart filled because you're an open container and they get their heart filled, and then you're sitting there with like 40% of yourself and you can't figure out why? Well, you kind of let the doors open before you found out who those people were. Self-mastery is that. Who are you? How are these people adding to my life? What is my sovereignty? What are my boundaries? Not merging with people, not joining groups that I don't know that align with me. And then self-mastery, it's just like, oof, it's this rock of who I am. And people just want to be around me because I'm always saying the same things. I'm always doing the work. I'm always being vulnerable. I'm always going deep, and I'm always being integral in what I find it. And sometimes it's gritty and messy and feels like vomit, but other times it's just like, fuck, I needed to get that out. I need to express that so it's no longer sitting underneath, or my wound, or I'm not worthy because of that. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not crazy. I did feel that. That was real. And then it's free. And it could feel like anger and frustration and blithering, but after you get through it, it's like, I'm really clear on this thing. I'm not going to let this happen anymore. I'm not going to degrade myself to please, to let my intention be less. So hopefully this makes sense. I really, really, like, people that are going through a lot of struggle and a lot of discomfort right now. This is the whole intention of 3D life, is to self-master, to go through all these things that you chose before you came here and start to take responsibility for them, to feel how they feel in your heart. Why are they there? Why does it hurt? And once you go through it, you find out what the source of your real integrity is, you're going to be like, oh, thank God. Now I'm clear. And now I don't have to do that anymore. Now I don't feel that same way, because now I've unwound it to the root, cleared the root, forgiven it, released all the energy, released all the trauma. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we can have a hard conversation now. And I don't have to yell. We don't have to. It's like, why are you saying those things? This isn't truth. Instead, it was like beating on my little boy that had a wound. Now it's like, okay, keep talking. What's going on? You're not going to trigger me. You're not going to send me away. I'm going to sit here until we get to the bottom of this. And no matter what a person wants to throw at me or test me with or whatever, I'm going to say, hold on. You're not in integrity with yourself. No, you're not in integrity with me. No, you're not going to hit me. You're not going to do whatever that the old little child is coming out with. I'm just going to say, talk, keep talking. I'll hear everything. If you want to hear back from me, great. I'll just listen until you're free of it. And then when you're free of it, then it's like, oh, I feel a lot safer if we had a discussion about this thing, and what are you angry about, and is it really anything to do with me? And then magic. So that's what self-mastery is. It's the most pure path of awakening, is to learn all these things. You're clearing them all out. All this shit and vomit and bad situations is just challenging you, bringing up and bubbling up all the things that are left to be worked through. And a lot of times, feel the energy, let it pass through you, breathe it, forgive, 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 maybe share it with somebody else that you can trust, and then you're going to be free. It's like no time ever in humanity's time before. You can be through something in a day. Like the hardest thing in your life. Like yesterday, I passed through massive stuff in a inner child healing yesterday, and my whole foundation imploded, and I'm a new person today. And I got a test today of some of that stuff, and I passed it beautifully. So are you passing the test? How are you letting this pass through? And then how are you standing up and being self-mastered afterwards? That's really the task. If you got questions on this or something's bothering you, put it in the notes. We'll talk through. I love you. I know this is powerful and it will help you, and whether or not it makes any sense is kind of up to you. And sometimes just listening to it multiple times, all of a sudden the truth goes in and it feels in your heart, and that magic is shared. So I love you very much. I thank you for listening, and we'll talk more soon. Have a great day. What an adventure. Sometimes it feels like hell, but we're making it through, and I don't ever want to have to feel those things again in this lifetime anyways. Love you.